Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the X3D chip once again. I know I said I wasn't going to go into the BIOS and I was going to leave it there for 5 years, but I was curious. So in the previous video, I said I was going to use Combo Strike 3 because it's basically minus 30, which is like a PBO term where it reduces the wattage and the temperature to gain a higher clock speed over stock. And everyone seems to kind of like that kind of feature in their Ryzen processors, the PBO and the combo strike, stuff like that. Everyone likes to tune for the maximum efficiency, is what I've noticed. And with the X3D chip, it makes the most sense because this chip is so locked down, you can't do anything with it. So the only thing you can do is undervolt it to make it run better. But there's a caveat to that because I found this out like maybe last night. Apparently, since I'm using the MSI board, it has Combo Strike built into it. That's cool, good stuff. But it also has something called Game Boost, which I had no idea what that even was. Basically, it overclocked your CPU. So I was wondering, does it work with this thing? Because this thing is locked down. You can't really overclock it. And it does. It 100% does. So in the BIOS, if you don't have Game Boost on, it'll say, the base clock speed, right? But after I enabled Game Boost, it went up to 4.45 in the BIOS. So I was kind of like, that's kind of cool. What else does it do? Apparently it doesn't do it without some sacrifice. And the sacrifice is temperature and wattage. The temperatures while gaming, it goes to 65, 66 Celsius, and the wattage kind of stays like it stays under 70 watts, like it's like 60-ish, which isn't too bad. But if you compare that to Combo Strike 3, I was at what, like 52 watt, like 52 to 60 watts maybe at most, and my temperature was like 55 across the board. Like it was running very, very like cool. But what I've noticed with Combo Strike, it has like more stutter because I think it's locking down the CPU, like choking it so much in order to keep the temperature down and the wattage down. It's like choking out the X3D. So I compared it to so I made sure I did 1-to-1. Like I compared it to what I had, the numbers I had before, and then with Game Boost on, no Combo Strike, just Game Boost, and to see what happens. And in my findings, I mean, I haven't tested it like for like months or anything, but at least for like the last like 2 days, I found out that it doesn't dip. The AM dip doesn't dip as much for doing Game Boost. Like the lows and the 1% lows are a little bit higher because I think, theorizing, because the clock speeds are slightly higher, but more importantly than that, it's not putting the CPU to sleep as much. Because with Combo Strike, I'm pretty sure it's like sleeping a lot of the cores as you're playing your game to keep everything like the voltage down and the temps down, the watts down. But for Game Boost, it doesn't care about any of that. It's just trying to deliver like that frequency, like 4.45. It's just trying to do that. So I think the cores are sleeping less, which is what you kind of want for a game. You don't want your CPU to be sleeping when you're trying to game. But by doing that, you're giving up temperature in watts a little bit, not too much, but I guess the end of the story, just do this and get better cooling, I guess. I mean, I have a 360 rad, so I'm not really too worried about it. So in the day, boys, MSI, it's coming in pretty clutch with the with if you're gonna pick up a Ryzen X3D or at least the last gen one anyway. I don't know about the current gen. I don't know what they're doing with that. But last gen, you literally just do like 5 clicks, 6 clicks, and you're good. You have the 99 percentile CPU. So I'm going to show the BIOS a little bit of what I'm currently running. Now I did mention in the last video, I'm using the, I think it's called Mushkin Redline 64 GB stick. They're 3600 out of the box. I OC'd them to 3800, and I put the voltage up from 1.4 to 1.42, and that's it. And it works. No, I'm not getting any Wheaties, none of that. The Infinity Fabric, I had to bump it up to 1900 because I had to keep it 1-to-1. No Wheaties, fine with that. Good, leave it. the offset voltage, so the voltage offset for the CPU, I dropped it down to 0.0500. So that brings the voltage down just a little bit, And then I enabled, custom fan curve, that's whatever you want to set that to. And what else? Oh yeah, the game boost. Now the MSI game boost, one thing I didn't like about it is it doesn't really tell you that it's on. Like you could click it in the BIOS like by accident, and it's like, oh, like it doesn't say like, are you sure? Like what it does. It's just you just click it, and yeah, that's interesting. Another thing I noticed is so the voltage on these chips are 1.3, and that's like locked. And you shouldn't ever come across a situation where it goes over 1.3 because they locked it down, like AMD themselves locked it down. So I didn't notice, so the game boost, I didn't notice it increasing the voltage on the CPU. But that's a disclaimer. I mean, I have to use it for like a couple weeks and see what happens. If the CPU blows up and it kills it somehow, I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure how long this platform has been out. A lot of people have probably tested this by now or came across the situation. But it doesn't ever go above 1.3. It does. The game boost, mind you, it does like to hover at that red line though. I have noticed that. Like it's 1.3 and it likes to stay like it'll like cruise like near that very often while gaming because it's trying to push the boost clock that it set, which is not a bad thing, at least from my point of view, because I used to mess around with the 12700K, and I locked the voltage, I locked the clock speed to 5.0 and then 4.0 on the E cores, and let it do its thing. It got a little bit hot. I had a 360 red. Who cares? Like gaming, when I'm gaming, it doesn't even really matter. So it's kind of like doing that a little bit, which I mean, if it gets me better performance and my games are smoother, and it kind of you can never get rid of the dip. That's just how these cache CPUs are made. But if the dip is less noticeable, yeah, I'll take it. So that's all I got for you boys. Affiliate links are down below for the rig that I built on stream. Well, not on stream, but on video anyway. And all the settings that I tested are in the video, so you guys can like look at that. And if you guys have MSI board, and you want to like mess around, I think most CPUs should be able to do this. But I hear 1900 on the fabric clock is kind of like iffy. Like not a lot of people can do that without getting Wheaties. So I don't know about that. So side note, I'm gonna add this onto the video. I did mess around with the memory. I pushed the Infinity Fabric to 2000, and I pushed the memory to 4000, and it did do it. It did do it, like without like crashing or like any kind of problems. I think the voltage on the memory, I think I pushed it up to like 1.43 just to give it the extra like another 200 megahertz bump. And the setting, the soft set, the sub timings or whatever, they're all the same. But I got Wheaties. The Wheaties happened. So not quite the golden sample, unfortunately. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to kind of see like if I got like a golden goose and it can just like do whatever I want to do. But hey, I'm fine with whatever it's doing right now. I got the game boost on. It's boosting to the max. It's gonna get a little bit warm. I mean, the 3D chips are toasty by design from AMD. So hey, let it run wild. Hopefully it doesn't explode. So affiliate links down below. I'll see you guys on the next one, and take it easy.